Welcome to our deep dive into classification algorithms, a core concept in machine learning. Classification is about categorizing data into predefined classes or labels. Think of it like sorting items into different bins based on their characteristics. For instance, classification can be used to determine if an email is spam or not spam, diagnose whether a tumor is benign or malignant, or predict if a customer will stop using a service. At its heart, it's about making a decision for a new piece of data based on patterns learned from existing, labeled data. Classification problems typically fall into two main categories: binary and multi-class. Binary classification involves predicting one of two possible outcomes. For example, deciding if an online transaction is fraudulent or legitimate, or if a review is positive or negative. There are only two choices. In contrast, multi-class classification means predicting one of three or more possible outcomes. This could be classifying different types of animals, identifying various categories of news articles, or recognizing handwritten digits from 0 to 9. The principles are similar, but the complexity of separating data increases with more classes. To classify anything, we need data. This data is composed of two main parts: features and labels. Features are the input variables or characteristics that describe each data point. For example, if we are classifying fruits, features might include their length, width, and color. The label, on the other hand, is the output variable, which is the category or class we want to predict. In our fruit example, the label would be the type of fruit itself, such as apple or banana. Classification algorithms learn to map these input features to their corresponding output labels. A key concept in classification is the decision boundary. This is an imaginary line or surface that a classification algorithm draws to separate different classes of data points. When a new, unlabeled data point comes in, the algorithm simply checks which side of the decision boundary it falls on to assign its class. The goal of many classification algorithms is to find the optimal decision boundary that best separates the classes, minimizing misclassifications. This boundary can be simple, like a straight line, or much more complex depending on the algorithm and the data. Now, let's explore our first specific classification algorithm: decision trees. Imagine a series of if-else questions, like a flowchart, that helps you make a decision. That's essentially what a decision tree does. It starts at a root node, asks a question about a feature, and based on the answer, it moves down a specific branch. This process repeats until it reaches a leaf node, which gives the final classification. They are highly interpretable because you can literally follow the path of decisions. How does a decision tree decide where to split? It looks for the feature and the value that best separates the data into distinct classes. This process is called splitting. For example, if we have data points with two features, the tree might first make a split based on a threshold for feature 2. This creates two initial regions. Then, within one of those regions, it might make another split, perhaps based on feature 1, to further isolate a class. This recursive splitting continues until each region contains mostly points of a single class, or no more useful splits can be made. While powerful, decision trees can sometimes suffer from overfitting. Overfitting occurs when the tree learns the training data too well, memorizing noise and outliers rather than generalizing the underlying patterns. This leads to a very complex decision boundary that performs poorly on new, unseen data. To combat this, we use a technique called pruning. Pruning involves removing some of the branches or nodes from the tree, simplifying its structure. This helps the tree generalize better by focusing on the most important splits and ignoring minor fluctuations in the training data. Next, let's explore k-nearest neighbors, often shortened to KNN. This is a very intuitive and simple classification algorithm that makes predictions based on proximity. Imagine you want to classify a new data point. KNN looks at the k closest data points in your training set. It then assigns the new point the class that is most common among these k's nearest neighbors. It's like asking your closest friends what something is, and going with the majority opinion. Two important considerations for KNN are choosing the value of k's and how to measure distance. The value of k's significantly impacts the classification. A small k's makes the model sensitive to noise, potentially leading to overfitting as it relies heavily on very few neighbors. A large case smooths out the decision boundary but might miss fine-grained patterns. Typically, Ks is chosen through experimentation. As for distance, the most common metric is Euclidean distance, which is simply the straight line distance between 2 points in space. Other metrics can be used, but Euclidean is a good starting point. Unlike some algorithms that draw a simple straight line, KNN creates decision boundaries that are often irregular and nonlinear. This is because KNN doesn't explicitly learn a mathematical function to separate classes. Instead, it classifies new points based on their local neighborhood. The decision boundary is essentially formed by the points where the majority vote of the nearest neighbors switches from one class to another. This flexibility allows KNN to model complex relationships in the data. But it also means the boundaries can be quite wiggly and less interpretable than, say, a single straight line. Now, let's turn our attention to logistic regression, which, despite its name, is a classification algorithm. You might be familiar with linear regression, which predicts a continuous numerical output. If we try to use linear regression for classification, say predicting 0 or 1, it doesn't work well. The linear model can output values far outside of 0 and 1, which don't make sense for probabilities or class labels. We need a way to squish the output of a linear equation into a probability-like range, specifically between 0 and 1, so it can represent the likelihood of belonging to a certain class. The solution to mapping linear outputs into a probability range is the sigmoid function. This S-shaped curve takes any real number as input and squashes it into an output value between 0 and 1. Values far to the left of 0 approach 0, while values far to the right approach 1. At exactly 0, the sigmoid function outputs 0.5. This makes it perfect for interpreting the output as a probability. A score closer to 1 means a higher probability of belonging to the positive class, and a score closer to 0 means a lower probability. This function is fundamental to logistic regression. In logistic regression, the decision boundary is typically linear, similar to what you might expect from a simple linear model. However, instead of predicting a continuous value, it predicts the probability of a data point belonging to a certain class using the sigmoid function. If this calculated probability is above a certain threshold, usually 0.5, we classify the point into one class. If it's below that threshold, it's assigned to the other class. This threshold effectively defines the linear decision boundary, separating the two classes based on their predicted probabilities. Once we've built a classification model, how do we know if it's actually good? We need to evaluate its performance using various metrics. A common starting point is accuracies, which simply tells us the proportion of correct predictions out of all predictions made. For example, if we predicted 100 emails and 90 were correctly identified as spam or not spam, our accuracy would be 90%. While accuracy is easy to understand, it's not always the best metric, especially if classes are imbalanced. More advanced metrics, like precision and recall, provide deeper insights into different types of errors a classifier might make. Choosing the right classification algorithm depends heavily on your specific problem, data characteristics, and priorities. Decision trees are highly interpretable and can handle both numerical and categorical data well, but they can overfit without pruning. KNN is simple and non-parametric, meaning it makes no assumptions about the data, but it can be computationally expensive with very large datasets. Logistic regression is efficient and provides probabilities suitable for linearly separable data. There is no single best algorithm. Understanding their strengths and weaknesses helps you make an informed choice. Remember, classification is about making informed decisions from data, using features to predict labels, separated by decision boundaries.